This is Pastor Joseph with Life Family, and I want to give you a little extra because it's the little things done consistently that make a big difference. Today we're talking about facing our giants. You see, one of the big aspects of the story of David and Goliath is when David had enough courage to step up and do something for God, that there was opposition. There were those that weren't sure if he could get the job done. And so when he went to Saul saw David as small, as young. There were many things saying why David could not defeat his giants. At that moment, that critical moment where David was about to face his giant, there were some voices that were trying to talk him out of it. There were some voices there that were trying to tell David why he could not do his God-given assignment. And at that moment, David could have walked away. David could have used that as his own personal affirmation just to turn around at that critical juncture. But that's not what David did. When voices were coming to him and trying to convince him that he could not face his giant, David did something critical that I think we all need to understand. See, there are going to be voices coming to us. There are going to be people, maybe some well-meaning people, that are going to talk us out of facing the giants in our life. They're going to say, you were always like this. Your dad, your mom, it's just who you are. That's just your nature. That's just your culture. You see, there are moments when we are at a crossroads. If we are going to turn back or we're going to go forward and face our giants. You see, David, at that critical moment, remembered the lion and the bear. You see, he was watching his father's sheep, and he was on that hillside, and one moment that bear came and took a lamb from David's sheepfold, that sheepfold that he was responsible for from the father. And at that moment, he could have just let that sheep go, but not David. David went after that bear and took the lamb back and slain that bear. Another instance where David was watching his father's sheep. There was a lion that came and took one of his lambs. And the Bible tells us that David pursued that lion, and he caught up with that lion and slew that lion with his bare hands. And he remembered the lion and the bear. And David said, as the Lord had helped me slay the lion and the bear, so my God is going to help me defeat my giant. Hey, listen, church family, when you're at the point of giving up, when you're at the point of listening into those critics and the opposition and those people that are coming against what you feel to do for God, remember your lion and your bear. You say you didn't get here by accident, but you got to where you are by God's divine hand. You have lions and bears that you've already defeated. You are more than a conqueror. God has seen you through some very difficult times. And just because there's a lion in front of you, remember there are some carcasses of God's hand that you defeated behind you. So you go forward and remember God's victories, God's overcoming power He's already shown and displayed. You've come a long way. Why don't you give yourself a pat on the back and a high five your own self? Lay hands on your own self. You know why? Because remember, you need to encourage yourself in the Lord that if God's brought me this far, He didn't take me this far to leave me here. He is going to help me face my giant in faith. Hey, listen, if you enjoyed today's little extra, why don't you share it and subscribe and let somebody know that you're thinking about them. This might encourage somebody that's thinking of giving up, or let them feel and experience the hope that may be in this video. Let's make an effort to know God more today, because it's the little things done consistently that make a big difference. God bless.